Do you want to, do you guys want to just come sit up here? That way, if you're talking, we can hear it. You know what I mean? Is that okay?
Yeah, take your normal seat.
Is that all right? Well, if you offer feedback, instead of you having to come up there, I just would rather, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, you're pretty much official anyway.
Check it out. See how it feels over there.
Yeah.
I need to see how it feels. Thank you.
We can find a Bible and make you swear on something.
I think you do.
I'm not sure, or whatever we had to do, the Constitution or the amendment or whatever. All right, volunteer unofficial meeting, or whatever, 6:04. Committee updates, car show. You want to go through what you got there, Mr. Wayne?
Yeah, I picked up a check too. I got to give you, I got $250 from Heidebrick. They want to put it towards the awards like they did last year. Sarah is also going to get a check over to us too. So I got those. We're going to do a bunch of shows this coming weekend, so that'll be great to get those flyers. I don't know if you got my email too a little earlier.
I
Okay.
printed it, yep.
So there's some shows in there because there's quite a few now coming, like car shows and cruises and stuff like that. So the ones I put on the flyer over here are just ones that if anybody wants to grab one of those, like Gollings over at Lake Orion. There's a couple cruises because again now they're having multiple days. So obviously like this Saturday I'm going to Port Huron and Belle Isle, and there's some other ones around too. So it's like I can't cover them all at one time. So if everybody wants to grab some of those, it would be appreciative. And then we got a couple other car show people that are going to be handing out flyers to them to give some of those that you just printed off tonight.
I have a box to remind me,
Okay.
so you don't have to carry them out in a stack.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Here, hold on a second. Before you go ahead, can you tell the couple pieces of good news so that way we know going forward what's set? So that way there's no question. You already have it on here. So
Yay.
MDOT,
Legit
Lapeer,
now.
it's official.
So they charge us $6 to file a permit, and MDOT charges nothing. So I'm a little.
Whatever, $6. Do we got to file the same permit for holidays now?
No, we sure don't.
Why? What's,
Because they said that it wasn't a substantial amount of time.
so what's their time threshold?
I did not ask that question, but I will.
All right. So that's approved. The other thing is beer tent.
Yeah, but I was told someone from the Lions Club was going to be here to let us know if they had everything submitted.
Church did okay.
Church said that, he said he would be fine signing it. He was going to email the map, the diagram, it's in the packet to, I think it is, to his trustees, but he didn't see a problem with it.
So that's the 500-foot rule. So Van Dyke is shut down officially.
The overhead banner permit was approved.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Awesome. So that way, as we're talking through things, we're good to go on everything. So if we're planning or talking and we're like, what do we got to do with X, Y, Z? We know the tent's going to be where we thought it was, all that stuff. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So I ran into DJ over here, car cruise. Obviously we were talking about Van Dyke. So he wants to actually come back down and do another visit just to see where he can pull power. So, because he obviously still wants to try to get East
Sure.
St. Clair and Van Dyke, but he wants to see if he can pull power maybe near the end of each way. So he's trying to figure out where he needs to locate those power sources. So he wants to set up a time when we can kind of walk it with him and kind of just make sure we have it all covered. So that's just something, he said whether you reach out to him or me or whatever, we could just meet him up on a Friday or something. He could just double check everything. And then the dash plaques, are we going to get those? So we're getting a lot of, at least on my end, from even the goodie bag stuff, I'm getting a lot of like the old, like Pet Boys and a lot of those like places are kind of like, with everything going on and giving freebies out, they're just too costly for us. So I don't know, do we want to do still the dash plaques and get those ordered now, or do we want to do something a little nicer for them? It's because, like I said,
I have Janaea pricing magnets instead of dash plaques with the same size, 4x3.
okay,
But I gave her the image and everything.
All right. All right. And then I gotta go. I'm gonna try to see about this Friday to pick up stuff from Patriot. And then I'm gonna see Terry at the same time. And probably get a bunch of parts, and then we get to figure out how we're gonna do all that stuff. Because in the other awards, we got those going. Did we have an ETA when those will be done? The plates.
They're done.
Oh, they're all set.
Well, they're
Perfect.
drilling holes, but they're
Drilling.
done.
Okay.
Yep, they're all
Perfect.
printed.
And then for some of the, again, just because of some of the stuff, even for like the raffle stuff, we're kind of, at least on my end, on the ones that I know you're working on some, and I was working on a few of them. Same thing, if anybody can help on, grab on some of those responsibilities, or I guess, or chase down some people, because again, same kind of thing. They're kind of scarce again, where it's kind of like, well, we may not. So we definitely need help on that for the raffle stuff. I'm getting stuff in, but it's just trickling in really slow.
We have a list of like last year's companies or people that gave for the raffle. So we can
Yeah,
maybe
'cause-
divide and conquer and then
yeah, because
maybe go to places that aren't on the list.
we split the list between Angela and myself, and I kind of read through mine already. And like I said, I mean, I've got maybe half of what
What you normally.
I would normally get. Yeah.
Yeah, I can email it to you. My printer is not working at the moment.
Go ahead and email it.
And a lot of them too were just, and I don't know if a lot of it's because we banged on the door was a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Then like when Paul was even going to like some of those like auto values and things like that, or you know, she was kind of successful. So I don't know if there's someone that can, you know, even run around and knock on some doors and see if we can get some other stuff drummed up. Potentially.
Do you want to talk about my other raffle idea?
Sure.
So my husband had this idea. His gun club does this every year, well, maybe even more than once a year. They raff off like a 4-wheeler or a whatever. And his thought was, because obviously he builds golf carts, and he was actually going to approach his gun club about doing a golf cart this year, was raffling off a golf cart. I don't remember what he told me the price would be. I have to look. I sent it to Andy and Angela.
You sent a text or an email?
But he gave me, it was a text. Hang on, I'll find it quick. There it is. He could do one for about $8,400, and he would paint it up Almont obstinate orange, put a couple A stickers on it. That way if someone didn't want the A on it, they could peel that sticker off as opposed to painting it. It's already, I should have taken a picture of it before we left because he has it part assembled. It's got nice black rims on it, bigger tires, stuff like that. And he said what his gun club does is they sell 1,000 tickets at $20 a piece. Just our original thoughts are, what if we don't sell 1,000 tickets? But like we talked about, he could have it done, you know, in a week or two, and we could take it to cruise night, Jeep night, bike night, and sell tickets. And all of us would be responsible to sell tickets between now and Heritage Fest as well. And then obviously sell tickets, have it at Heritage Fest. Angel's like, put it right, you know, in the middle and have a booth and be selling tickets. And it was a thought because we could potentially raise quite a bit of money. So, but Andy said there's some intricacies to that as well.
So what we got to find out is, can we do that as a promotional item? If we could do it as promotional, the DDA can do it as promotional. If we're doing it as a fundraiser, that's where it gets goofy
I
on.
think it should be promotional. I don't think we should, I mean, we could raise funds for someone else, but
No, I know. I'm not saying we got to do it for somebody else, but it just gets into how does that work for you? Win some, generally you got to pay tax on it. Are we a nonprofit? Are we? So if we did it through a 501c3, it's going to work different than the other one. Angela brought up maybe just doing it through the historical society. So I think we need to vet out the ins and outs of that to see how we can actually get that to work. You know, and if it, what is the disaster plan if we don't sell?
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. If we don't cover our cost.
So you said 20 tickets at 1,000 tickets, or $20 for 1,000 tickets,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
We only have to sell 500 tickets to at least make most of it or all of it
Right.
back.
Yeah. Make a little bit.
What does anybody think of that idea? Too much to take on right now? Good idea? Bad idea?
I like it. I mean, I know much guy being in the car stuff.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
And it's huge on social media too, and especially if they could even go in and pay online. through like the DDA and pay to do it there, I mean, that's even easier, really, just, because that's online, they sell those raffles in no time online.
Mhm.
Right. I know one thing it does well with raffles is 20 a ticket, or you get 5
Right.
for $100.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, or
you're
3 for 50 or
correct.
whatever, yeah.
So, and there should be enough wiggle room in that.
Yeah.
What does everybody think on doing something like that?
I think if we can sell online, that would be amazing. That would be a lot easier.
We have a thing set up, right? Yeah, we do.
So we could always do, a lot of them do that in the event that you don't sell enough, it becomes a 50-50. You do that.
Word it that way.
Right. I mean, do we have to buy from him if we don't sell enough? Like, are we committed to doing it?
I'm sure he would be, it's not like he can't sell it, so. He just won't put the A stickers on, but he's got no problem painting a golf cart orange. It'll sell. No.
But if he paints it orange and we get the decals for it.
Right.
Because as
Exactly.
we're displaying it, we're going to want it on there, right?
Oh, true. I mean, he
Right.
can still peel them off. It's fine.
Right.
I'll talk to him, but I don't see why he'd have a problem with that.
So, I mean, if everybody's okay with that, then we proceed with, I would say, talk to LDC, because Sam's going to know more of what we could do, what's promotional, not promotional, how that works. We would need tickets printed up for that, and we'd need a way to account for that. That would have to be a line item in the budget. I like the idea. I could use a golf cart.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of places will do like, first place gets the golf cart, second place gets $100,
Right.
third place gets 50, just to even get more people.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
know there's a better odds of getting
Mhm.
something.
A lot of that does sell. I mean, I know the one that Lions did in Burville, they almost made they 30 grand on a $20,000 unit. You know what I mean? That they got at cost. So I don't even know what they cost them on that. They sold more than half their tickets the night of their party. So I mean, that stuff sells. So we need a motion on that. Proceed.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right.
This board can't make a motion
Gather
anyway,
more
Just-
so this is a
information.
committee, but
Yeah, I know.
Just
We can't
solidify
really.
the details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody seems like they're on board with it if
Yeah.
everything works out.
I think it'd be great promotion.
Yeah. Yeah, but having that cruise night, having that Jeep night, that's
exactly.
huge.
Yeah, and he can have it done. He could have it done by cruise.
And we should have a
I
few
think.
football games, whether it be youth or high school. We could have it displayed there. I'm sure the school would let us.
Yeah, before.
Yeah. Check into that. If you want me to call Sam, or if you want to, whatever. Okay. Go ahead. Do you have anything less to the car show?
I think that's really about it. Just like I said, just probably help just collecting stuff for goodie bags and raffles really this time. The flyers, we definitely got, I mean, again, like these shows, like, getting some help on that's not too big of a deal, but we've got 2 guys that are helping me too. So I think the flyers and stuff are going well. So beyond that, I think we're in good shape, to be honest. Just except for a few little things, but I think everything's, going good.
Okay. All right. Sponsorships?
Did you wanna go to the maps first?
We could. Can you bring it up? So now that everything is approved, right? There has been some Facebook and some other communications of people are concerned we're shutting the world down, right? One thing that we want to talk about is really the reality that we're not. So a couple things. A, how do we support our businesses, right? And why we're doing this. And B, what's the plan for car shows? What's the plan for vendors, right? So other than, yes, there's going to be signage at Tub Spring and there'll be signage at Huff showing that the roads are closed for through traffic. But essentially, other than from the theater to Centennial, everything's going to be drivable.
Can't be Centennial though. I did talk to Chief Martin. he said he would really not feel comfortable closing it at Centennial because he would feel comfortable closing it at North Main at the car wash. Because he said if anyone comes out there and heads south, it's gonna be problematic, and he said people will do that.
But if we close it just south of Centennial, south of the driveway to the new pet place, how would they get south?
If they come out anywhere on Van Dyke from Tub Springs to North Main, he said it's easier to block it at the curb so they know not to go south than have them coming out here and turning to go south. And
Oh, I see, and then it's closed at
But it's
Centennial.
easiest to block it at the curve here. And he said, well, not just easiest, but he thinks it would be safest.
That's fine.
But like, even if we do that, I don't know,
Even if we do that, all the businesses, if you're coming, you'll still be able to get everything North Van Dyke, South Van Dyke coming in. If you take a look on the map there, I kind of laid out all the blue areas are the through streets. So essentially on that one was shut down from the movie theater up through Centennial is where I had it. But if somebody was coming in from Kidder, they could still go down St. Clair, go to, what street is that one? Right, Bristol, and then get around south of our blockade. So that way, if somebody still had to get the doctors of physical therapy and they lived on the other side of town, they still could do it. If somebody needs to get down to Creekside, they can still do it, right? On the north side, which I don't think shows on that map, maybe it does, or maybe it does in the bigger map, it's going to be shut down at Tub Springs, but we can then have it open through Maine. And if we're shutting it down now by the car wash, they can still loop through and get to McDonald's. They can get to Family Farm. So the only really impacted business then would be the vet, which isn't open now. You'd be able to get into the party store off of St. Clair. So the big thing is we got to make sure that we have that out there so people understand we're not shutting everything down. All the parking lots will be open so people can come into town and still do things. But the other thing we got to talk through is how does that flow with the car show, right? So as cars are coming from north or south, do we let them come through in certain areas? How do we make that traffic work? Right.
Yeah.
And we would
And
need
like you
bodies
said,
there to
bodies,
help.
yeah.
So if the cars are coming from south, would you recommend us letting them in at Huff? Or would that cause confusion with other cars and they should just go Huff to Kidder to St. Clair, come in that way? The car show cars. Okay, so that means we'd have to have somebody stationed there with the police to make sure we're letting the car show people through. So same with on the north side at Tub Spring, do we let the car shows come in there? Okay. East or west, they can still get through. Okay. Well, they can get into town through there.
Oh, yeah, not
Yeah.
East and West St. Clair though.
Right. No. They can still get into town, come back around, and we just loop them into the south side at, these didn't have street names, but basically where the theater is.
Yeah, speaking of too, do we want to ask Brian if he can bunch more barricades from maybe some of the neighboring
Yeah,
communities?
he's on that.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So, so ideally for your car show people, I know that's the concern. How am I getting into town? How am I doing this? Right. So I think we need to get that word out. So what we have to do is everybody's okay with that map. And if the reroute is now at the car wash, not Centennial, which is fine, then we need to get that map out there so people can start seeing it. So locals can start seeing it so they can digest the fact that really if they need to get in off of one of the subs, they could get into town. For a car show, does that make sense? Okay. All right. And that's okay how we have that set up. That should be good. But essentially, we're not taking the car show past really the central business district, which would be the end of State Farm, right? Is that the thought process? I mean, unless
Do we
it
know
gets
how many
bigger.
cars will fit in the area that we are? An
We'd love to,
estimate?
yeah.
Okay,
We can. I mean, we can
Yeah.
eventually take
just give you an
a look at it.
estimate on.
How many?
Mhm.
I guess we could, one thing you would do on Measure Tool with Google, figure what 10 feet wide for every car for spacing and then just divide it out. I would say we'd probably be able to get 1,000 cars,
Oh, really?
500 on each side. So, yeah. So none of the parking lots will be taken up. And the only road closures we're gonna have is east and west St. Clair from Van Dyke going to each first side street. That's it. You doing the measure? I can tell you it's at least 500 feet from the church from there, because I did that the other day when when there may have been a debate whether we could do X, Y, or Z.
I'm almost even wondering, because I know we were talking about having your places like the trailers, but I'm wondering if maybe if they're coming in with their cars and they do have trailers, or if they maybe unload at the very ends with their trailers and leave them down there versus trying to get them.
Oh,
all
right, if
through.
we're gonna have plenty of room.
Yeah, because I hate to have cars race up,
Uh-huh.
people come late, and then you got some trailer trying to run down the middle of the Van
Yeah.
Dyke trying to make it to your place.
Right.
Maybe we just kind of say.
Have the
come-
trailers parked north of
Yeah, right
Centennial
at
or
the-
whatever.
Yeah, you can almost use them as
Yeah.
blockers at the end
Yeah.
too, you know?
Right.
If you coming on north, you park your trailer
Right.
north.
Well, and also for vendors, we're gonna have to, I would not have the vendors come up the middle, have them go through either
Yeah.
Kidder, St. Clair, or the other ways, have them work around that, just so it's there. In here, you're gonna see some preliminary signage. Angela did. So what we want to do is highlight all the businesses that are open. So at Tub Spring and Van Dyke, at Huff and Van Dyke, there's gonna be a large construction. It'll say, no through traffic, all businesses open. That'll be posted there. But then at Kidder and St. Clair, we'll have one that shows what they can get to in that direction. So everybody will be able to see what's down there. And then there'll be a sign pointing north that'll show everything like McDonald's that you get to going up. And then we'll have another one at Howland and Tub Spring. So that way, if you're coming from both directions, there's no question. Because if we shut it down for the day, or Google or MapQuest or all those aren't going to adjust, right? It's going to, if they want to say McDonald's, it's going to try to take them through
Take them
town.
through something else.
So at least this is the way, if they put McDonald's in there and they're driving north and they hit Kidder and St. Clair, it's going to make sure they tell them go north instead of them trying to come through town. So in trying to help these businesses out to make sure that they're not losing revenue or whatever, they know that they're still open and they're all there. So Angela's went through and got all that kind of developed. And those are going to be larger signs. So that way people can see it from the road. Does that make sense for everybody?
How big are they gonna be?
Or 24 by 36, I think.
So they're looking
We could
bigger if we had
bigger
to.
if people think
I
we need it.
would recommend giving it a white background, so everything pops a little bit more. That's just my recommendation. And then open to be red or something bright. But big is good.
I think people see the fact that, I mean, yes, there is going to be traffic going up Kidder. We can't help that, right? But at the end of the day, yeah. All right. Next item. Sponsors are done. Vendors, registration update on the vendors. Okay, and we said local CBD businesses or those businesses in the DDA area, they're allowed, we're just giving them a vendor space, right? Yeah. So if there's somebody in the DDA area that wants to come down and have a vendor space, we're not charging them a fee.
So, one question, what actually came from today, can a vendor, can someone that's donated stuff to the Heritage Fest, you want them to still get billed for a vendor spot, or do you want? So as an example, like some of them are gonna give goodie bags and, for goodie bag stuff and a couple of baskets, and they're like, hey, potentially could we get a spot if we wanted one? So I didn't follow up with them yet on that, so I thought I'd ask it and see if you guys.
I mean,
wanted
it's
to
part
charge
of
them.
some of the sponsorship levels though, so are we taking away from our sponsorship levels that we already have? That would be my only thought, because it is, I don't have one in front of me, but it is included in like, I don't know if it's all of them or not. I don't know.
Are they in the CB, are they in the DDA area? So,
They're actually in Texas House.
okay,
And like I said, they didn't ask whether or not.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys before I actually responded to them, just to let them know what.
what are they looking to do?
That's what I was going to ask them, and that's why I wanted to talk to you guys, whether it was just like having a table there with just free shit on it, or
Right.
you know what I mean, or.
Well, that would be my question. Like, are they just planning to run around and hand out stuff? Sure, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see like what you guys felt was,
Right.
you know.
Also,
enough.
how many spots did we say we had room for? Do either of you remember? Because I don't. 50? Okay. I just want to make sure. I also don't want to not have the CBD people get spots and let, Texas Roadhouse have a spot. That was my only thought, but that's plenty, so.
I think the only CBD business that wants a spot, actually, she'll probably do it in the parking lot out of State Farm.
Right, and that's what I feel like,
That is gonna want a spot away from their store.
yeah.
But, and
I just want to be in your store, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully have help there doing it, not me. I might be busy.
but ideally, that's the goal, is to have those on the main street, just be able to have something out in front or
Right.
getting them.
Have your
into the
doors
business.
open if it's nice or whatever, yeah.
Right, but we didn't want to exclude, like, I'm just trying to think, like maybe Camigo or one of them, have them an option. I mean, they're in the DDA area, so I don't want to have to make them pay for a booth, because we're kind of technically excluding the area they could stand outside their building. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I agree with you.
yeah, okay. Let's see, vendors, map wise, again, going back to the map, it's going to be that section of west St. Clair, all the way up to the parking lot, right? Or a little bit less. Are people still going to be able to access Speedway at all, or are we shutting it down all the way? Okay. Okay, so it'll be shut down there. Okay. Location, we already talked about that. The road commission approval, that's fantastic. Entertainment. That's got the longest list.
Bounce house is booked. I wasn't sure where we stood on the photo booth, but I've asked a couple people for quotes. The one that got back to me, I put the prices in there. Beer tent map of where it's proposed under St. Clair.
And that's in here as well. And the length of the tent was what?
It's 100 by 40.
Okay.
It's actual tent, but we need more space than that for restrooms and tables and whatnot.
And fencing. Yeah. So one of the drawbacks of not having it in the court is we now have to have a fence up for security. So are you still on the park board?
Yeah.
How soon till that starts getting redone? Is that approved?
Which part?
The tennis courts? No, still not yet. Okay. Just checking. It's been so back and forth, I wasn't sure. Let's see, beer tent map. Let's see here. We got a message back from the church that they're okay with us having it there. And I think, what are we looking for? You guys to finalize the permit? Is that right? All right. Okay. 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 Perfect. You got any updates from the Lions Club on anything for this? Okay. So Bernie committed to run around and get the sponsors for that. Is he still doing it?
I don't think he's done that yet. He'll send me the lists, quadrants we had separated. So we can definitely take a couple of those quadrants
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. And then there's been a lot of back and forth with, can you have that open earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as you say, like, if you give us the time that you want to open, we will include that in the license, because that's what dictates that. So we'll have staff available to run it. So, or whatever, or yeah, whatever. 7 a.m.
Yes. Let's
Well,
do it.
What time do we want on Saturday? I'm assuming
I would think
I would
noon
say at
be
least
good.
noon,
What time is it? Like kickoff?
9.
9 a.m. I mean, unless you guys could do Bloody Marys or something in the morning.
I mean, mimosas.
Mimosas and Bloody Marys. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot. You
That's
can
up
do
to
for
you guys.
breakfast
Right.
with alcohol.
I mean, no later than noon, I would say. I mean, 11. Yeah. Yeah, Friday, I would probably, again, with it being downtown, probably earlier as well. It doesn't have to be 11, but I think, what time's the concert start on Friday? 6, probably 4. I would, is it, you might want to do a little bit earlier. I'm just thinking with it downtown, it might get more walkable traffic. I mean, should be earlier than 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah,
Get out of work.
right. But if people want to come up there before the game or grab some food or whatever. So I would say probably 4:00 Friday, at least 11 then on Saturday. And then just keep it open the whole time all the way through whenever you close it. Any other questions for Lions at all? We good?
And so you're going to update the fencing line? Did you push that back at all, or did you get updated?
I did. I'll send you
Okay, you know what, right, because it was 40 by 100 for the 10th, and then 50 by, I think, 150 that initially, and then 2 trucks on both sides. Do you get a different number on that, for that 150, or just?
I think we could, I think we could do 160 or 170 on the fencing. If we're pushing that, then we're gonna be too close to Van Dyke and we're gonna be blocking Bristol. So those are my only concerns about that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, just,
Yeah, we can't block Bristol.
is the, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because I feel like I felt that last year we were very busy.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep it on either side of the tent. They're not gonna have it this time, so they're gonna be in it, or they'll be behind it. And that 50 feet that was currently there, even 60 or 70, it's still not a ton of space, which you have the restrooms and the beer tent. Just a little tight, but whatever, it'll be, no big deal. We'll keep the beer flowing, so.
Cozy.
And don't forget, we have to have an area for the band and a outhouse for the band. That was in their contract. And that's been a point of contention for years that we've never provided that.
Oh, and speaking of that too, is there anybody that's gonna clean those things for the next day? Because remember what happened last year, and that wasn't even considering all this partying on the Friday. So those things gotta be
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that
Clean.
septic come out? in
Yeah,
there?
usually-
Are they supposed to?
So I don't know if we have that in the contract.
Oh.
Jay's comes out and cleans the one for the park.
Okay.
But we should probably ask them if they're doing that. If not, we'll probably have to look at somebody come out there with a hose. Right.
That was terrible.
Saturday morning, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah,
clean
between Friday and
before.
Saturday.
Between
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of those contracts, and I don't remember seeing the contract, and maybe I did, but a lot of them will have some verbiage in there that it's either in there included, or you gotta pay a little extra for it. And if not, I mean, really, we got a garden hose that would probably help. That's what they do at the fair. So when we're at the fair, every morning they come through there with a power washer and just hit it. Which you don't want to be the first one in there in the morning. It's wetter than hell. But it's clean for the rest of the day. So it could be if we don't have it, will Brian have the water tank by then? No. Okay, I'm just wondering if not.
I don't know that which one you were at, but typically they do come down, they came to the beer tents.
Do they?
Yeah.
The one down on Main Street, the ones down there.
Ones that
Yeah.
St. Clair didn't get it.
Okay, then maybe they just didn't get the attention they should
Now they're
have.
all gonna be in the same.
Right,
Right.
Spot.
So let's just
But let's
Make sure, yeah.
Just make sure,
it's in
yeah.
our
You
contract.
don't want them to come earlier if they're gonna be like right outside the car show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they typically came in, they were there super early.
okay, yeah,
Started.
say
on
usually
Saturday.
a lot of the contracts has that included.
okay.
So, especially on multiple day contracts. One of the things you got to think through. Anything else on entertainment? We're gonna have cornhole in there. Oh, the other thing that came up in a conversation is like entertainment in the beer tent, right? Are we gonna pipe in whatever he's talking through for the car show, or should we have some separate music in there?
Really don't think we should have competing with the DJ.
Loud enough anyways. It was loud enough just having the car show last year.
That's the only thing I'm worried about is people not being able to hear since the car show is in a contained area this year. It's not over a mile stretch.
Like you said, maybe that's what we talk with them about, is make sure you get something that's by that beer tent too, during the car show hours.
I would, well, and when it's not car show, well, the entertainment guys have everything set up. He usually goes into a DJ mode before the band starts playing, right? I think you do. Right. I'm only thinking of that because after Rustic shut down last night,
Quiet.
thankfully the Jeep was there, but music keeps people around, keeps them happy, keeps them drinking. So just want to make sure that we don't miss out on that. Anything else to the entertainment side? Face painting's done. So we're not doing a petting zoo this time,
No,
right?
the petting zoo is booked.
It is.
Yeah, it wasn't on the list, but I haven't talked to Kevin.
So where's that going?
I'm in talks with the library right now.
Okay, cool.
So adding all the good stuff down there.
Nice. All right. 5K, the new 5K.
We're having a 5K. It's moving along. So we have Bob is doing our timing. He was super nice. I was like, I've run a lot of 5K, Bob. I was like, but I've never organized one. I need a little help. So he set up our registration site for us. Angela and I just have to fill out, and it's open. We just have to fill out 2 forms so we can actually get the money from that. But no big deal because I don't think anyone's signed up yet. I haven't looked today. I don't know. But so yeah, registration's open. Angela designed some cute little beanies. That's going to be the swag for the race. We need to talk about sponsorship for snacks and like just usually after a race there's water. Well, there's a water station like halfway through the race. Do they do that for 5K?
Not for a 5K.
No? Okay, cool. I was thinking about that.
So Century 21 will do the water.
Yeah, water, banana, granola, or something.
Right.
Like that.
So Carolyn and I
We'll do
we're
the
gonna do the
water.
water. Angela and I figured we could maybe hit up Vinkers for bananas. And then maybe, I know it's not healthy, but maybe hit up the bakery and see if they want to provide some donuts or whatever. It'll be fall time. So I think that, or maybe even Blake's, to see if someone wants to do donuts. So yeah, there's that.
What was the sign up cost to do it?
$40, which is a little steep, but we're raising money for the fire department. So I felt like people might be okay with that then.
My niece is very active in 5Ks, running them all over, and she's friends with some people that are going to help promote.
If you talk to Bob, if you get the things, he'll hand them out at the other races he does. And he does like probably like 5 races like each weekend day when it comes down to it. So he'll hand them out. And
Yeah, and he did say
Baggies.
he will promote as well.
yeah,
So
and he will usually give gift cards too if you ask him for giveaways for if you want to do like overall or masters.
oh, and that's what I was gonna say
Yep.
too, is hit up the local businesses maybe. And I can't remember how many brackets there are. I was gonna ask Bob. 'Cause I
Yeah, I
don't
mean, they
remember. It's been a
usually
bit.
have, I mean, age, you know, you have
Right,
to break it
yes,
down, which we don't
so-
have to, I mean, I guess you have to see how many.
Right, see how he
regis-
breaks
peop-
it down too.
Yeah, then you have some masters for like
So
over.
usually
Yeah.
people worry about the overall and the
Yeah.
masters.
Yeah.
Those are too big.
So just figured if businesses wanted to donate whatever, a gift card or something, figured we'd hit them up for that.
He usually gives a couple $100 in gift cards for Hanson's, like $50 like per thing. So he'll probably do that if we ask him.
So $40 a pop, breaking even's only 19 runners. So that's not too bad.
Well, we're more than that.
Right, but at
So
least to cover that part of
the
it.
timing cost, yeah, it's $750.
Right.
So, which is not, and that's up to 250 runners. When we go over 200, if we go over 250, which there's no way in the world I can't, like, I'd be happy if we had 100 runners. I think that'd be awesome. But if we go over 250, it's, I don't remember how much more, but it's not, maybe it was $1,000. It's not that much more. So, right next year.
So we're just trying to finalize the route.
Yes.
Trying to
that's
do
where-
all sidewalks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out tomorrow morning and see if, and start and end it, like at the fire department.
And Angela talked to the fire department. They said, we can't do a pancake breakfast, which is what we wanted to originally, because their yearly one is the next month. They're like, that's just too much at once. They said, but we're happy to have the bays open for you guys. They said they'll have an ambulance be the tail for the race. Yep. So,
And like I said before, it was cute when I ran one where they had like the little school cheerleaders like halfway cheering you on, or at mile 2. So one more mile, you know, just kind of along the course was kind of cute.
Are you guys doing like something where it's going to one point and then going back?
trying to do just a loop.
Okay, because
Yeah.
if you do, like, sometimes it's nice, like, if there's that point where you have to turn back around, someone cheering there, and also telling them, this is where you go.
Right.
So
Yeah, we're
that's-
gonna try to do something, maybe start at the fire department and go through the school driveway parking lot, get on the sidewalk at Kidder, and then come around back through town, back up.
So do we need that open then? Because we were gonna keep it closed for Heritage. Is that?
Sunday.
Maybe, yeah. Once we finalize our
Yeah.
route.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine not closing any roads.
No.
The drive that goes through the school. if
Oh,
you're running that,
We're
'cause
closing
I'm
it
having
for
it,
Heritage Fest.
I'm having it locked. for
Oh, yeah.
Heritage.
I'm thinking we're gonna be running through there, but I'll know more once I do a couple trials. See what's.
Pancake
Sidewalks.
breakfast for the fire department in October. Is there a rationale why they do it in October? Is that why? Okay,
They're at the schools all weekend and they do.
okay.
I mean, if there's more room, depending on how many people we have sign up, we can start and end it, I'm sure, in the school, like they do the Jingle Bell run. Right? But
You
for-
start at the fire department, you've got bathrooms there.
Right. I'm just wondering about parking, like people coming. Not everyone's gonna be from Almont that's gonna run it. I'm assuming people are gonna be from,
I figured Pinewood is right.
Yeah, like-
across the street,
Okay.
the giant parking
Oh,
lot.
true. Okay. Yep.
And like, I don't know if anyone's ever been to the pancake breakfast, but hundreds of people park there and up and down Howland. Like it's
Okay.
nuts.
There's a
They're in the
lot.
grass or.
I was surprised how big the lot is. And plus the grass area. Anything on the more on the 5K?
So unless anyone thinks we're missing anything so far.
just the brackets, I guess, and how you wanna break the brackets
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I just started thinking about that like yesterday and today about
Usually
awards.
the 10-year,
Yeah.
you know, interval or whatever.
It's a great idea. It seems like it's getting a ton of traction out of
And
Facebook.
I'm promoting it too as a walk, like a walk run. People people who just want to walk it, you know, it'd be a nice early fall morning. It'll be a nice walk.
And then also just like really driving home what the proceeds are going towards.
Yes.
That will be, you should get a lot of people just signing up for it just because of that.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're on vacation though too. I forgot. So.
Say, if anything, just try to keep it down Van Dyke, because it'd be nice to see the people coming down Van Dyke, and if businesses around and they want to do something, then give them a donut on the way. Get some extra sugar, give them a jump charge or something, right? Schedule events. Anybody want to add anything?
Just, is there any, that was more, is there anything new this year besides the 5K that I should add? Obviously, the beer tent time I have to change, but for the most part, the schedule is staying the same. Is that correct?
Well, I think so.
Yeah, I would.
There is a copy of the schedule in your packet
It's
too.
not complete. I kind of
Yeah.
just I didn't finish putting the Saturday stuff in. I added sidewalk sales and business specials to the list already, and I was just trying to think about if there's anything else going on that we want to add on to the schedule.
The only thing I would add is just some of the feedback we got last year with the band is make sure we have it dialed in who's opening, and some of the complaints was the time frame, right? That they realized that they had an opener and breaks and all that other stuff. So make sure we just
Yeah, so you can update it like entertainment, whoever is opening for Family Tradition Band, I don't remember who it is and what time they start, and then Family Tradition Band and whatever time. That was the big thing, was that Family Tradition didn't start at whatever time people thought they were starting. So
they didn't start at 8.
zero.
They thought they were literally playing for 4 hours,
Yeah.
but we only contract them for 2 or something like that. A couple.
Issue.
It became an issue. I don't know how big of an issue, but I agree.
But
I agree.
let's put it so we can please them.
Okay,
But
I'll do that.
at the end, but if we have it out there, at least people have an understanding and go.
Right.
So,
Or if you
Yeah,
put
there's an opener.
approximate time. they're
approximate
approximately
time,
gonna
whatever,
start at,
whatever,
because people hold you to it.
whatever.
It's gonna be 8 o'clock.
Put live music from this time. Family Tradition is headlining
Could do something like that too.
Yeah,
without a start time.
yeah.
You know, and if he's got an opener, some of his openers are bigger names, so it might be worth having the name on there because that might be a little bit more of a draw. You know, I don't know who he's bringing, but find out. You know, and same thing probably maybe with Friday. I don't know. With Sunset Boulevard, I don't remember how the contract went with them, but I don't know if they're bringing an opener, if they're playing for how many hours, but so. You know, if you could just say anything, you know, Family Tradition Band, so-and-so's opening, multiple sets with intermissions. You don't have to give a time frame, but that way people have an idea that from 8, they're not going to go there and watch somebody play for 4 hours straight.
No.
You know what I mean? Not on a free show. You got to pay $400 a ticket for that at Silverdome or wherever the hell.
Are we charging an entrance fee when the band starts? What are you laughing for?
It's come up a lot.
I know, we never really made a decision. I just thought about
Done it in the
Still do it.
past?
I mean, they do it to
Charge?
get into like the actual like area regardless, not just for the bands. The beer tent is just a general admission. Don't they usually charge like $5?
Some places do.
Yeah, like Romeo for the Peach Fest.
Yeah, it's a couple bucks
How
anyway,
much
yeah.
does Armada charge?
To get into the beer tent?
No,
there's
just to get
charge.
into the general like area.
Oh, to get into you got to get into the fair. It's $10. So,
I mean, I understand there's rides and other things like that, but.
right. Well, you got to pay extra for the rides.
Oh, well.
Emily's different. Emily charges your 10 or 20 and you get all the rides. And you can't leave. That has been hot on.
I've seen that, yeah.
So no, Armada works different. You pay a fee to get in, but rides are separate.
Well, if we charge $5, we'll have re-entry, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Stamp
know
your
yet.
hand.
Depends on how it
Jesus.
plays out for Emily City.
It depends, or is that too many changes for this year? Is that?
I feel like if we're charging an entrance fee, we should have something, like we used to get Heritage Festival cups, those orange.
Should be.
Yeah, and the pictures,
I mean,
love those.
you could do Heritage Fest koozies, I guess, because with the cans. You know what I mean?
Are you telling me I should look into that?
No, I'm just saying,
Just throwing it out there.
if you're charging, and again, if you're charging a
think-
$5 cover,
First of all, I think Family Tradition Band is worth a $5 cover
Right.
at minimum. I mean, I think 5 is fine, but I think we should.
he's been saying that for years.
Has he? It's
Yeah.
another way to make money. It's another way to, you
Is
know,
it
and
going-
if God forbid it rains Saturday,
Right.
like there goes a whole bunch of everything,
Right.
right? At least we could make up a little bit by charging covers Friday and Saturday night. Or maybe Friday's free this year and we just charge for Saturday. I don't know. I just think it.
Friday's usually a lower turnout.
I don't know, Sunset Boulevard has quite the following. I had no idea.
I think that being down right in the main street area, we're just gonna get a better turnout either way.
And what's $5?
Parking's
to
gonna be a
get
hell of a lot
for
better. You're
an
gonna have
evening
all
of live
that.
entertainment.
Right.
It's nothing.
But I would agree, though, my 2 cents is it should come with something, a cup or a koozie. You know, if we spend $1 on it, you know what I mean?
Right, and if we're buying that volume of koozies, it's not gonna even cost us $1 a koozie when you're getting, and I guess we'd have to figure out how many we're gonna need, but.
So everything's in a can? Are you selling anything in a slim can? Okay.
I would just.
Yeah, because how do you break it down? The
Right.
I
total?
hate my slim cans in a fat koozie.
I know.
Listen, bring your own koozie.
I'll
like
bring my own.
all of
I'm
us
$5.
other
I want my
psychos do.
koozie.
Andy.
Whatever.
Because then we're gonna have people taking a regular one and a slim one, so
I
now
know.
it's costing you twice as much.
I know. All right. I'm just
Next year, we
I'm
can do
just-
slim koozies,
I'm
okay?
talking through the ideas.
know.
That's it. I'm not saying one way or the other. If you serve ranch water, they fit the fat koozies, and life's good. Just saying. I don't know.
I was gonna ask that, but I didn't know how that would be received if I asked.
I think that
I was
would
gonna
be
say
good.
it's firm no.
I would, yeah.
I just don't think you're gonna sell it is the problem, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. I mean, they're down so much in sales. I my 2 cents is
The
I would
cooler
stay
is
away from
full
it.
at Vinkers with a rebate.
Right. I mean, Costco just took them off their shelves.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they got the Star of Death, and then now they're not selling it anymore.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I would stay away from it. My 2 cents. What can you get through them? Are they Fabiano? So what are they? Yeah. Yeah. Coors. Can you get Coors?
A lot of Bud
PBR.
Light drinkers
PBR.
that used to drink Bud Light are like Coors Light or
Coors.
PBR is a big one.
Yeah, Pabst is getting a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Ironically, Modelo is probably the biggest one out there, and they're owned by InBev, which is the same company, which is ironic. Oh, I switched to Modelo. I'm like, it's the same one. But my 2 cents is I think I would. You just don't need the press one way or the other.
What else will you have for drinks?
Besides beer.
Mhm.
So it'll just be like seltzer types. So typically have a couple different varieties of seltzer,
Okay.
and then usually some sort of like craft beer. So like
Okay.
beer, like blue, craft blue, like a kind of heavier beer. And then a couple different types of seltzers.
I think last year you guys had 4 seltzers.
Yeah, the neutrals.
None
Those
that I
are
know.
good. Oh,
They were
yes.
so, that's the first time I had
Yeah.
them, and I was like, oh, these
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
That was in that. So we'll check and.
Okay.
Some pretty popular stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we're bumping on 7 o'clock. Hard to believe, time flies.
The rest was just signs. We were talking about the business ones. We want to have those. Francie's printing the first round of signs. I only ordered a handful right now. So when they come in, probably Monday, possibly Friday, if we like them or think we need bigger or whatever, we can. And if I tell her I need them quicker, like the TDA banner, I emailed her on Thursday. She had it done Monday. She was like, I kind of have it done Friday. And I was like, no rush, but.
Did you touch on the fact that we do have a banner going over Van Dyke too? Yeah. So that's official. That'll be up.
The only rule on that has is that it has to be, it can only be up for 3 weeks, and then it would have to come down, but there's no, we're just gonna shoot for the 3 weeks before right now, but if we wanted to, we could put it up for 3 weeks, take it down. There's no like specified amount of time it has to be down. You just have to file multiple permits and then throw it back up. So
I think 3 weeks
And you don't-
before
I
would
think
be
that's
I
sufficient.
guess technically you don't even take it down, you just file multiple permits but the fire department's excited to help, so.
All right. Anybody got anything else good for Heritage Fest?
We still get these signs up for the car show maybe next week.
Yeah, she'll have them either Friday or Monday. I
perfect.
can't remember how many of each I ordered. Did you see the Jeep night signs? They were like 2 different sizes. She's gonna do those sizes for now and then a 8x4 banner for the curb. So I'm gonna talk to Joe and make sure he's good with me putting that up.
Okay, cool.
And then I measured, Steve Francis still owns the theater, so I measured the, like, no, the marquee signs.
Oh.
And then, as long as I can get him to say, yeah, it's fine, I'm gonna put signs up over that ugly marquee too.
That'd be awesome. Perfect. All right. Till then, thanks everybody. Find some more people. Find some more volunteers.
There's, that's what I was gonna say, there's a volunteer, Paulette Hideaway, has reserved the room for us, Monday, September 11th, starting at 7 o'clock. And then we don't have to be there at 7 if we think like 8 o'clock would work better. I think 7 is a good time. That's just when leagues will end. So he said 7 on, we're good.
If everybody remembers, we're gonna do pizza or something, and then everybody who's willing to volunteer, we're gonna do just a kickoff meeting to go over everything. And then make sure you're there and whoever you want to have from the club there, just kind of talking through the day and all that kind of stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna edit this so I can get.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll do a Color Street one.
Oh, okay.
And are we gonna do some cookies for the car show? For us, for the goodie bags?